One of the biggest issues I've had with the car right now is emissions. So it's straight pipe, meaning I have headers on my exhaust side connected to one pipe, goes straight out the back of the car. I have no muffler and no catalytic converter. What comes with that is carbon monoxide. So if you think like people who leave the car running while they're sitting in the garage and then die from that, they're literally inhaling carbon monoxide, which kills you. So I need to fix that because I've, in fact, inhaled that just running the car, and it's not good. I've definitely had headaches from it. Another downside of having a straight pipe car is when it's completely straight pipe, there's no oxygen sensor to tell your computer how much oxygen's in your combustion chamber, whether it's too much or too little. So my car is running rich right now, which means that there's a lot of oxygen in the combustion chamber, which leads to that high carbon monoxide coming out. So I have to put an O2 sensor in it so that I can lower that, run the car, and not get headaches or brain damage, essentially. To solve that, normally people would drill a hole in their tailpipe or downpipe, weld on a bung, which is what your O2 sensor screws into, then plug your O2 sensor in. I don't know how to weld. I'm not paying anybody to weld for me. So I went out to Glow Shift and bought this little clamp bung kind of hybrid thing. So essentially I just drill a hole in my downpipe, I'll clamp this on, screw in my O2 sensor here, plug in my O2 sensor, and then my car should theoretically stop running rich. Since they're long tube headers, they go further under the car, which means I have to put the O2 sensor further under the car, it would be near a lot of heat. So I'm going to sew this aluminum heat sheathing around the wire so that the wire doesn't get fried. And we should be good after that. Alright, so that orange connector right there goes to the computer in the passenger side. That's where my O2 sensor goes. You see my headers 1, 2, 3, 4 go under the car to the collector, which is where I have to drill the hole. This is where the headers collect to. Since they're long tube headers, like normally this part would be a lot closer up in the engine bay. Since they're long tube headers, they're further underneath, and I'm gonna be putting the clamp like right about here, drilling a hole in there. See, it's just welded one straight pipe all the way to the back. Usually there's a catalytic converter or a muffler somewhere in there, but yeah, I'm gonna change this out in the future because this shit's low-key annoying to service. But yeah, mock up of where the clamp's gonna be. You want the O2 sensor to be like 10 degrees from the horizontal, so this would be, I guess, 0. I'm going to tilt it up a little more, like so, and then it'll run straight up. I have a sharp meter mark to hold before I start drilling, so always measure twice, cut once, kids, because once you start, you cannot go back. So I put the clamp on, marked the hole and everything. The drill I'm using to drill it is humongous, but if I have a couple more inches of clearance by taking off the exhaust manifold and lowering it a little bit, I should have enough space to continuously drill the hole. So I managed to get most of the bolts off, the studs, except for this one here. It seems to be stuck inside the engine. There's this trick where if you get 2 bolts, you thread them on, and you take the bolt closest to the side that you need to take off, it'll actually take out from the other side because of the pressure applied on the bolt. I'll show you in a minute. So right now, both of these bolts are on the same thread. They're both righty-tighty, right? Now, if the bolt closest to the manifold, that one right there, if I lefty-loosey that in theory should pull the entire stud out and solve my problem. Alright, so zoom in there. They're torqued against each other pretty well, and if I turn, the whole entire thing is turning. Alright, so now the headers are free. They're sitting a lot lower. As you can see, they're sitting a lot lower. And now in turn, The header itself is sitting a lot lower. It's a rough, I'm gonna redraw that hole now that I loosened it. But when you solve one problem, another problem arises. So all my studs are, well, whoever is fucking caring for this car before me did not do a very good job, but they didn't place all the studs with the proper like Loctite or something in them. So I'm gonna get all new studs to put on this. I need what, 8 total, and there's only like 4 that came with it, which is fine, like it happens. But I have to take this one out using the same method I used to take the one above it out, and then I can fully test the oxygen sensor and the levels and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just gonna put in the O2 sensor and everything else. All right, so now the hole is done. I'm gonna put this gasket here and then clamp on the O2, and then from the engine bay down, I'm gonna drop in the O2 sensor. Step is in, and I literally just practiced what I did not practice what I preached, and did not put any type of Loctite or anything on these threads. The O2's connected there. It should be a little more connected, but I'll do that after I put everything back in. See, it's going under the car. Now it is plugged in.